As summer visitors surge into the valley, there is work to keep crime and criminals away from the Strip. Jacqueline joins us now with more on the progress.
So 1 year ago, Clark County created this boundary. It's called an order out corridor. If you're convicted of certain crimes, a judge could order you to stay away from this part of the Strip and surrounding areas. A year later, county leaders and Metro are studying if this is working.
We have been analyzing the effectiveness of the order out provision.
Millions of tourists and tens of thousands of locals work in and around Las Vegas Boulevard. In 2022, to tackle an uptick in crime, county leaders leaned on one way to keep convicted criminals out. If you're convicted of certain crimes, a judge can order you to stay out of this expanded area covering the resort corridor. Violators get harsher penalties, 6 months in jail and a fine up to $1,000.
To ensure the safety of the people who visit here and who work in the area, because over 100,000 people are there every day working.
In the past year, a suspect stabbed numerous showgirl impersonators, and as the valley has seen a rise in homelessness, Clark County and Metro ramped up their sidewalk and pedestrian bridge patrols. A year later, how's crime in and around the Strip? Taking a look at Metro's numbers, starting with the most common crimes, larceny and theft, down 17%. Simple and aggravated assaults, down 18%. Burglaries, car thefts, robberies, property vandalism, prostitution, all down double digits. Some notable crime upticks, drug and narcotics offenses, and weapons violations.
Continue to work on issues related to the pedestrian congestion on the boulevard and how all of the movements happen and what the effect of all of that is, but that isn't something that we've just stopped doing. We continue to work.
And again, the analysis is still ongoing, but Metro Police do say they have to track trends week to week, looking at the numbers, seeing what crimes need attention or more patrols for prevention.